My sister-in-law DNA tested my daughter behind my back and paraded the results on my daughter's face, so I told her why it came negative and all her plans backfired. I have a daughter who's 6. I am not biologically related to her at all. There is no blood relation between us. I was friends with her mother for almost all of my childhood. We were never involved romantically and were always just friends. When my daughter was a newborn, about 3 months technically, both her mother and father were unalived. I won't go into too much detail for privacy reasons, but it was a workplace shooting. My friend and her husband had worked in the same building and were both unalived. Both my friend and her husband had grown up with less than ideal families and didn't have any siblings, so there wasn't any next of kin for their daughter to go to. However, because I was close with them, I was able to adopt her. Even though I had been iffy about the idea of kids, I didn't want their daughter to grow up in foster care or around people who didn't have a connection to her bio parents, so I stepped in. I initially didn't like to have a child, but I learned to love her as my own. My parents and siblings know that my daughter is not my actual daughter biologically speaking. My daughter, I'll call Lily for the post, also knows that she's adopted. I never really hid the fact that she was adopted. She knows her parents are dead and were killed by a bad man, but I'm saving the details for when she's older. Lily does not look like me at all. She looks exactly like her mother and biological dad. Most people assume that I'm her bio dad and that she just took after her mom. I don't ever really correct this when and if people assume this because it just seems unnecessary. My brother has been with his fiancée for about 2 years now and they have a 1-year-old. A few weeks ago we were all meeting up at my parents' house and my sister-in-law saw an old picture of me, my friend, and her husband. She pointed to my friend and asked who she was, and I explained it was Lily's mother. Sister-in-law got quiet and stood in front of the picture for a while. I didn't think much of it. To clarify, she knows my friend died, but I guess didn't know that she had been married, or that Lily is not my bio daughter. I suppose she assumed my daughter was mine and my friend's biological daughter. At the dinner table, my parents announced that they were setting up a college fund for both kids and they were going to be given $50,000 each. We were all very happy to hear this, and we went back home afterward. Anyway, after a month, I observed that my sister-in-law got pretty distant from my daughter. Anytime Lily would play with her son, she would take him and tell Lily that he needed a nap. Or when Lily asks her something, she ignores her and tells her that she's busy when she is just using her cell phone. Then one day, she went to my house and told me that she has something to tell me urgently.